What's good with y'all? It's T-Flows, and today we back. Today we're gonna be watching, it's called A Fearless Man Forces Cop to Give Up and Leave. Now, I haven't watched this, so I don't know what the fuck they talking about. Give up and leave, I guess walk away or some shit, but we gonna watch it. But yeah, hit that subscribe button, send me something in the comments of what you want me to watch next, and let's get it. Alright.
This episode covers stop and ID laws, extending Terry stops, and reasonable suspicion, and is brought to us by King Black News and Visuals' channel. On February 28th, 2023, several officers with the Newark Police Department stopped the owner of the King Black News and Visuals' YouTube channel, who we will refer to as Mr. KB, on the street in Newark, New Jersey after receiving a 911 call alleging that a man fitting Mr. KB's description was walking around with a gun. As officers approach Mr. KB, he begins to record the interaction.
What's going on?
Watch these niggas be on some racist shit already.
Man. Kick rocks, keep it pushing. I don't know why you stopped me.
Who's that?
I'm working right now.
Yeah, fresh
I'm
cut.
for the city of Newark. You keep it pushing, you wasting your time.
That's a light skinned nigga.
Yeah, I'm out there.
Light skinned Mexican nigga.
City of Newark. Yeah, what you mean what it mean? I'm under the official duties working. You stopping me, you don't have reasonable suspicion of a crime. Make sure you put your body cameras on. Alright, making sure. Yeah, you don't have no reasonable suspicion of a crime to stop me. And I just told you I was working. And my ID in my ID in the truck. You can't stop me just for having this stuff on, man. Seriously. I'm telling you, man, y'all playing with the wrong one. Huh? Now I'm looking for something. That's why y'all stopped me from doing what I gotta do. I'm looking for something. I'm looking for
It don't fucking matter what the fuck you looking for. He looking for
y'all
something.
Stop me like I'm a terrorist, bro. That's what I'm saying. I don't appreciate that, man. Am I free to leave? Yes or no, sir? Mr. Cardio, what's your badge number? All right, what's your reason for stopping me, sir?
Damn.
I ain't, no, don't talk to me that way.
You talking about to be quiet.
Tell me to be quiet.
Because we stopped you, now we have to do a FI. We have to do a stop report.
I already identified myself by telling you that I work for the sanitation.
What's your name?
I'm not required by state law
How is that identified?
or New Jersey statute or United States Constitution to give you my name.
Especially if you ain't commit a crime.
And I already told you I work for sanitation. That's enough.
The officers inform Mr. KB that he needs to identify himself, but Mr. KB claims that he's not required to identify himself under state or federal law.
Let me call my supervisor, and you can call your supervisor.
Because you about to escalate, we're not about to do this.
Escalate what? You're being
What the fuck you
recorded.
mean escalated?
You're being recorded.
I'm trying to send you on your way.
Yeah, I already asked to go. I already
Man, you
asked
light
to
skinned
send
be
my way,
mad as
and
fuck.
You sitting here telling me that I'm being detained. You put me through an unlawful detention. I don't care about none of that stuff you're talking about. I'm still sitting here. You still never tell me if I'm not free to leave.
You're not.
Well, you're not getting an ID. So what are you talking about?
Then you know what?
None of you guys intimidate.
What, you gonna arrest him?
I'm very calm,
Send you on your way.
very cordial. I'm asking you again. Am I free to leave? Yes or no? All right. What crime am I being investigated for?
We got a call, right, for a male fitting your exact description, wearing a book bag, wearing a walkie-talkie with a tactical.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Then they said that they believed that you had a weapon. We did not approach you. We didn't come at you crazy. We came at you respectful, right? Now, all we're trying to tell you literally is, okay, right? Our suspicion is dispelled, but we still need to identify the person we are speaking with.
The officer claims
That's
that
not true.
even though their suspicion has been dispelled, they still need to identify Mr. KB for their report and continue to detain him. As we've discussed many times here on ATA, officers have the authority to detain individuals when they have a reasonable suspicion to believe that they are engaged in criminal activity. However, in the 1983 case of Florida versus Royer, the U.S. Supreme Court clarified that, quote, an investigative detention must be temporary and last no longer than is necessary to effectuate the purpose of the stop. And that, now quoting again, the investigative methods employed should be the least intrusive means reasonably available to verify or dispel the officer's suspicion in a short period of time. Noting that, quote, a seizure that is lawful at its inception can violate the Fourth Amendment if its manner of execution unreasonably infringes interest protected by the Constitution, the court concluded that, now quoting again, because the officers exercised their own discretion and declined to issue a summons for a noise violation, they essentially concluded that the occupants were not engaging in any criminal activity.
Which he wasn't. The
that,
nigga was
quote,
walking, going by
after
his
loud
day.
music was abated and the police chose not to issue a summons, submitting warrant checks was unnecessary and improper because doing so would do nothing to help confirm or undermine the police officer's decision regarding the noise complaint. In this instance, the officers had likewise concluded that Mr. KB was not engaging in any criminal activity, and, applying the logic of the New Jersey Supreme Court in the Chisholm case, identifying him would do nothing to help about the officer's decision regarding the 911 call involving a man carrying a firearm. As we mentioned earlier in this episode, an individual's mere refusal to identify themselves during a Terry stop is not a crime in New Jersey, even if officers may need the information to complete their reports.
Exactly.
Therefore, a court would
It's not a crime in a lot of
the
states.
officers had no independent reasonable suspicion to prolong Mr. KB's detention once their initial suspicions were dispelled, and that their actions in doing so violated the Fourth Amendment.
Nah, I'm willing to identify myself if I had committed a crime. That's what I'm
Which he
saying.
didn't.
So now,
So under no circumstances, I'm not giving you my ID.
At this point right now, has committed a crime in order for us to identify.
Nah, you don't know what you're talking about.
Because
You got it. Go. You need to read the.
We got a call with somebody matching.
Man, you about to get in a lot. You about to get in a lot of trouble if you believe that. You know, police about to have more lawsuits and more federal. Y'all about to be under federal investigations. If you really believe that you can stop people without having an articulable suspicion of a crime, reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime.
The fact that we got a call, someone fitting your exact description.
It could be all done. You just give me your name.
It really could, man. You really
No, you don't need to ID me.
You don't have to provide me your ID.
I've been doing this for 15 years. I don't give nobody no IDs. That's just what it is. It could be corny, man, but I know my rights.
You talking
What
about
you wanna
corny?
say, Brian?
That's some light skin shit.
1,051 hours. Supervisor rising on scene. So I don't know what's going
The
on.
reason they stopped you is because we did get a 911 call saying
Okay.
somebody matching your description was walking around with a handgun.
Even still, once you stop me and you
I got you.
investigate, you see that, you know what I mean, I ain't got no gun.
So
I mean,
exactly. So that's where we at the point right now, right? We see you don't have no weapon, so you're gonna be on your way. However, because you were detained,
I could get if I want to, I can get like the police report or transcripts for that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know?
we'll give you a bit number. No, like, however, we're gonna need your identification because you were stopped.
Sergeant Vasquez informs Mr. KB that the officers stopped him because they received a 911 call about someone who matched his description walking around with a handgun.
That's not gonna-
Section 2C.
Even if you do get his ID, that's not gonna solve the problem on if he did it or not. That don't mean shit. Okay, I got your ID, now what? You can leave? What if he did it? You still gonna let him leave? What if nigga threw the gun over there on the corner? You still gonna let him leave? Oh, I just got your ID. That's what I'm saying. It's no point for this identification shit. Especially if you didn't see the nigga commit a crime.
Any person who knowingly has in his possession any handgun without first having obtained a permit to carry is guilty of a crime of the second degree. Additionally, under Section 2C 39-2 of the New Jersey Revised Statutes, quote, when the legality of a person's conduct depends on his possession of a permit, it shall be presumed that he does not possess such a permit until he establishes the contrary. Accordingly, when officers have reasonable suspicion that an individual is in possession of a firearm, they are generally authorized to detain them to investigate further. Now, it is important to note that reasonable suspicion only needs to be articulable, meaning that it must be capable of being expressed, explained, or justified. But it does not need to be actually articulated during the stop, and therefore, officers are not required to explain their reasonable suspicion to detainees. Nonetheless, officers must maintain reasonable suspicion throughout Terry stops, even if they do not choose to communicate their suspicions to the citizens being detained. In the 2000 case of Florida versus JL, the Supreme Court held that an anonymous tip that an individual is carrying a gun is, without more, insufficient to justify a Terry stop, despite the fact that the officers in the case found an individual matching the tipster's description at the location provided in the anonymous call. In reaching this conclusion, the court reasoned that, quote, all the police had to go on in this case was the bare report of an unknown, unaccountable informant who neither explained how he knew about the gun, nor supplied any basis for believing he had inside information.
Right, you said he had a gun,
And
had
that,
no
now, quoting
information.
Again, an accurate description of a subject's readily observable location and appearance does not show that the tipster has knowledge of concealed criminal activity. However, in the 2014 case of State versus Smith, the Appellate Division of the Superior Court of New Jersey determined that law enforcement had reasonable suspicion to stop a vehicle based on an identified citizen's report to police that she had seen the vehicle's occupant flash a handgun. Now, in reaching this conclusion, the court recognized that because, quote, a report by a concerned citizen or a known person is not viewed with the same degree of suspicion that applies to a tip by an anonymous informant, and also, now quoting again, By giving her name and any additional identifying information collected by the 911 system, an identified citizen is subject to future questioning and possible prosecution if the information provided is false. An ordinary citizen is, quote, presumed to be providing reliable information, and further investigation of the citizen's reliability is not required before appropriate police action is taken. In the situation involving Mr. KB, if the 911 caller making the report claimed to have actually seen someone carrying a gun, or otherwise explained how they knew about the gun, well, it seems likely that a court would conclude that the officers had reasonable suspicion to detain Mr. KB, particularly if the caller provided their name or other corroborating details. However, additional facts, such as if the caller was anonymous or did not claim to have personally observed an individual matching Mr. KB's description brandishing or openly carrying a firearm, could impact the court's decision.
Oh, no, you're not getting ID. My supervisor's coming right now. You're not getting my ID because I didn't commit a crime.
You're right, but they have reason.
All right, hold on. One second.
So they stopped you for that reason.
That's a
We're
lie.
asking for your identification is because you were lawfully detained because they believe that you committed a crime because somebody called saying you was walking
You
around
can
with a
believe
weapon.
what you want to believe.
Right.
If
But that's
once you
why
come and
you-
investigate and you see that
Right.
I haven't committed a crime, you let me go. That's how that go. I know I am right. They're telling me, hit this guy, tell me I'm not right. I know, I've been free to go for the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
But if you want to give your identification, then you're not giving your identification. We'll take it from there. All right, so no stop, right?
Yeah, there is no stop. You know that from the jump. I'm not giving nobody no hard time, bro.
I told you we were just trying to follow protocol, man.
I'm gonna tell my supervisor he ain't gotta come. Sergeant Vasquez said I'm free to leave, so you don't have to come here, but I'm about to walk up Grafton and meet Ellison, do the boxes.
Man, that shit
I can't
fucked
even
up.
finish looking for my stuff now.
After
Now
continuing
they gonna
to
let him
detain
go.
him for several minutes, the officers eventually told Mr. KB that he was free to leave, and he walked away without further incident. Mr. KB was not charged with any crime or issued a
course.
citation, and it's unknown whether he intends to file a complaint or pursue legal action against the officers for their actions during the interaction.
He should have.
Overall, the Newark officers get a C, because although they maintained mostly professional demeanors and did
Them
not
niggas
use
get a
physical
D,
force or
a
arrest
fucking
Mr.
F.
KB,
But if you guys like this, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Let me know if you want me to react to something different. Shit, and I got you. But T-Flows out.